I'll just hit the record button and we'll get started. So, hey, September the 1st, and in the height of hurricane season, we're having our first event in Florida that has been postponed by a hurricane. Imagine that. So I told Dave, I said, we may have dodged the bullet, but we would have certainly dodged the bullet if this would have been in Las Vegas, and then we wouldn't have had a challenge. But hey, I wanted to congratulate Marianne for making Double Diamond. Has done just an amazing job. Especially since almost her entire team is light years away, right? I mean, continents and oceans and all of those things, primarily in Africa. So I can remember the day that that Mitch sponsored Marianne, and he says, "Hey, can we sponsor somebody in Africa?" I said, "Is it on the planet?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, then I guess we can. So let's go. Let's give it a shot." And look what's happened. I mean, Africa is just blowing up. I mean, the groups, and now the people, the leaders over there are doing meetings and Zooms and on and on and on. So it's just been amazing. So congratulations, Marianne, for making Diamond and Double Diamond. And so I can't wait for you to go on up and get to the next one. So it's coming. And my buddy Mel, what can I say? There's never been a better, nicer guy on the planet than Mel Gomez. Mel and I kind of knew each other through the industry, and he was on my list, and I was in the process of looking for the best people that I could possibly align myself with as quickly as possible when I decided to pull the trigger here. And Mel was one of those people that just never responded. And I said, "Mel, if you don't respond, I'm going to take you off my list." And he said, No. Nobody takes me off your list, So he joined. Mel made the trip with me in June of 2018 to go visit with Dave for a couple of days, and so we got really hands-on with Dave and did a lot of great things. So Mel, then of course I came home, went back to work. Mel decided to go on vacation. Right? Mel just says, "Well, I'm going to go on vacation for a year, and then I'll engage." Okay, so he's engaged, and now that the group is growing like crazy, he'll be Double Diamond in no time. So, hey, tonight I wanted to talk about an action plan, or maybe it's a start over plan. Whatever, kind of floats your boat, right? Could be an action plan. Maybe you're brand new, looking at this for the first time, and maybe you've been on the Zooms here with me before, and you've been in the company for a little while, and you've tried a few things and it hasn't worked, and maybe this is a start over plan. But I want to be perfectly clear as we go through this. Whatever it is, I had to start over. It was 1987. I thought I knew it all, right? I didn't want to bother my upline with questions. I didn't want to do three-way calls. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. I did go to trainings, right? I flew all over the country because I liked flying and going to other places, but spent a lot of money, doing that, and then came home and did exactly what I thought would be best for me, and kind of took the training and threw it out the door. But I failed miserably, right? My first check, $43. My wife went hysterical, right? She was just rolling on the floor laughing about how funny it was for me to have worked as hard as I did and got a check for $43. It was kind of embarrassing for me. But hey, this is a learning situation. This industry is unlike any other industry on the planet. I got a text message from somebody last night, and he said, "You know what?" He said, "This network marketing business is a lot tougher than what it really looks like." I responded back to him. I said, yep, it is. But, you know, when you come to the trainings, when you come and be part and you ask questions, it becomes a whole lot easier. So, you know, what I'm going to take you through is, you know, the basics. And, you know, I heard John Arenza, you know, talk about this. He said $5,000 a month. I say $5,000 a week. You know, until you reach $5,000 a week, 90% of your time should be spent on what? Prospecting, prospecting, and prospecting. So if you're ever wondering what to do, it's prospecting. So that's it, right? That's the end of the training. Congratulations. No. So, I mean, that's what it is. It's always prospecting. You can continue to dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and continue to work other people's warm markets. You know, one of the things that I love to do is when I put somebody brand new in, I love to find out who they know, right? Hey, tell me about the most successful people you know. And I've met all kinds of people as a result of that. I've met prize fighters, basketball players, fighters, prize fighters, Howard Stern. I mean, I've met congressmen, I've met governors, I've met all kinds of people through other people. And that's been a ball, you know. Not all of them got involved in the business, but some of them did, or some of them led me to somebody else. Mitch has got a story, and I'll have him tell that story a little bit later. But, you know, prospecting, prospecting, prospecting. So I don't want anybody to, you know, not know exactly what their responsibility is, right? So I'm going to show you a very, very simple way to go about doing this, and that is by, you know, can you call 35 friends and tell them about a near miraculous product discovery that you've made? Everybody can do that. Everybody can call 35 friends, right? You know, so what I want you to do in September, now that's only about one person a day. So I know everybody can do a little bit more than one person a day. And I just want you to go through your Facebook list, your if you still have a Rolodex or whatever, wherever you keep everybody, right? Maybe you've actually started building a list, you know, an outside list, outside the computer, outside your phone. But, you know, go through and get on the phone with at least 35 people and tell them about a near miraculous product discovery you made called Optimum, right? That it's an amazing product. And had they ever heard of it before? They're going to say, no, I've never heard of it before. And then I want you to say, hey, if you're a coffee drinker and you are interested in losing weight and possibly making some money, I want to get you some samples, right? I want to get these samples over to you. Now, you guys have seen this chart, but I really want you to look at it because it really does. You know, I like to use the path of least resistance, and that path of least resistance is not selling product. It's not selling, you know, sample packs, 6-day experience, or anything else. It's giving product away. I buy $600 worth of product at least monthly, sometimes twice a month, and give it all away, right? I give it all away. And I give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, and I follow up and I follow up and I follow up and I follow up. I mean, I do that constantly, and you know, it's paid off huge dividends because, and I'm going to take you through it. You know, just think for a second, if you were to give 35 away and just 20% of the people said yes. Just 20% of the people. Now, results will vary depending upon what type of relationship you have with those 35 people. There's some people can call 35 people and they would all run. Other people can call 35 people and they would all run over to their house and say, hey, whatever you're going to do, I want to do it with you. You know, so I don't know what type of relationship you have with, you know, these people or your sphere of influence. But obviously, if you have a pretty good, you know, sphere of influence, then you should be able to hit that average. And that's what I used, was that average number of 20%. So 7 people say yes. And it's all about duplication, guys. It's all about, you know, leading people down the path of, again, the least resistance, and just saying, hey, I want you to get on the phone. Let's make a list of 35 people. Let's get on the phone and call those people. Let's ask them a couple of questions. Coffee drinker, want to lose some weight, interested in making any money, and then have them send out those 35 packages to their people. You know, if you've got 7 people doing that, each sending 35, you got 245 soldiers that are now hitting the street. Month number 2, again, 20% of them say yes. So that's big, folks. I mean, and that is very duplicatable, and it will produce results. So here's the 7 that say yes. Okay, people say, well, you know, I don't know if I want to give them away. Well, you know, again, if you have 7 that say yes, you're going to get $700 in first order bonuses. You know, you're going to get $400 in legacy bonuses. You're going to be legacy qualified. You're going to get a couple of $100 or 2 shares of the enrollment pool bonus. So, hey, you've just made $1,400. What did you spend? Less than 7, right? So you've doubled your money giving product away. So just think about that for a second. And again, those 49 that say yes, when your second level, right, they go out and send out their 245 packages, you're going to earn legacy on the first 3, right, of those 7. So 7 times 21 is $2,100. So yeah, it's a great way to build up and build up and build up your organization, and do it very, very quickly. And as you see, the legacy bonuses just continue to come in. So again, I'm not going to go through, you know, the little bits and pieces of everything. If you have some questions about, you know, what you send with that package, there's certain things that I do that have worked. I include certain things. I make notes, you know, about certain things. I follow up, you know, on a specific time frame. Certain things, again, that I do, text messages and emails and phone calls and so on and so forth. But, you know, you just have to, and I just kind of do it because I've been doing it for 30 years, right? So you'll, as you mature in the business, you'll become more and more adept to doing those kind of things. You know, my job, I really feel, is to kind of give you the do's and the don'ts, right? To kind of keep everything on track. Make sure that you don't go too far to the left, too far to the right, and that you stay kind of right in the middle of the road. I can't say enough about the first one. That is, get in, and stay plugged in, right? I mean, it's just, nothing works unless it's plugged in, and that goes for network marketing. That goes for, you know, whatever, right? It's got to be, you got to be plugged into things that are going on. So you got to do the things, and you know, it's not very difficult to hammer out a half hour on a Sunday night, or a half hour, 45 minutes on a Saturday afternoon. Get to Mitch's training, get to this training, and you know, obviously, the more training that you can get, the easier everything is going to be. So get started, get in, and stay plugged in. Be on all the Zoom meetings and trainings, absolutely, positively. I mean, you know, why? You know, a lot of people say, well, I've heard that. You know, I was on one of those one time. Well, it's just that repetition, right? People learn through repetition. You know, when you buy a new house, they say it takes you 21 days to find out where the light switch is. You've got to keep reaching for the wall to try to find out that it's over on the other side. So it's just that repetition, repetition, repetition. And that's the way that I've learned the business. Don't be afraid to ask questions. and you've got to learn the process, right? So ask all the questions. There are no dumb questions. There are just, questions that don't get answered that, leave you kind of doubtful, and we don't want any doubtful. We don't want you being doubtful about anything. So, always, always, always ask questions. Become a great student. And that, again, just goes for all the events, right? Whether they're Zoom events or live events, and learning as much about the industry as possible. Attend all the events online and offline. If you're within a certain driving distance, there's a regional or Dr. Chi or somebody is at a location, by all means go. But go with some people in the car, right? Don't go alone. Going alone is okay, but it's not optimum, right? If you wanted to, really enhance the experience, take some people with you. And that's what my buddy did to me. He lied to me, right? He said, I'm going to take you to dinner. We're going to go to the best places in Memphis. We were headed to Memphis, Tennessee, and that's where that company was. And so I'm a barbecue fanatic, right? And I said, okay, man, let's go. So we jumped in his Jaguar and we left. And so never did get any barbecue. The other thing that I put down here was keep score. And what do I mean by keep score? How many people did I call today? And if you have to, create a form, how many sample packages did I mail today? How many follow-up calls did I do today? How many three-ways did I do today? If you have to keep a form like that and look at it day by day by day by day by day by day, which is really a great idea because you can see very clearly after a very short period of time what you're not doing if you're honest, right? If you're honest. You might as well be honest with yourself. If you see zeros straight across the area that says three-way calling, guess what? You need to start doing some three-way calls. And it's no big thing. If you three-way call with me, I do all the talking. All you've got to do is make the introduction, right? Hey, this is Chuck Hansen. I work with Chuck and blah, blah, blah. 1 minute, Chuck's been in the industry and so on for 30 years. And, let me let you talk with Chuck. Simple. Boom, done. I'll take it from there. Again, that goes back to that text message. This is a simple business, but it's not an easy business, right? It's easy to quit. It's not easy to continue. It is a very simple business because people go, is that all you do? You send out samples. They either like it or they don't like it. And if they like it, they get in and they buy something. And then you do that with all of their people. I go, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not rocket science, right? It's just, duplicating. And, we have a lot of people doing a little bit, and that little bit adds up to a lot of volume. Hopefully over 10 million in August. We should get that number here shortly. But yeah, it's just growing like crazy, guys. Be patient, be patient, be patient. And what do I mean? You're not going to earn $10,000 a month right out of the gate. Not going to. I didn't, John didn't, Rick didn't. Those guys put in a lot of time and effort. I don't know if you heard on the call on Saturday that Rick said something, and he said, it took me 4 years to make $1 million with VALENTUS. Now that's pretty good, 4 years to make $1 million. But he said, I made another $1 million in the last 12 months. Okay, so that's how it starts to increase. My income first year was 225, just about 225,000. I earned over 100 grand the first 3 months. June, July, and August, the first 3 months of my second year. Okay, so you can see that it's picking up. You got to understand that this is a business. There's things that happen all the time in business. There's products, that don't get delivered. There's things that happen all the time. Nothing, goes right all the time. In fact, Murphy's Law, right? If it can go wrong, it probably will go wrong. And we try to circumvent that and try to do our best to make sure that, people get upset when products are out of inventory. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things that have to happen in order to bring that inventory into the warehouse and so on and so forth. But, hey, it's just life. It's just, hey, that's one of those things. Hey, it'll be there. Don't, be patient and just, do something else, but understand that things happen in business, and a lot of things happen that you have no control over. And it's kind of like, going on a trip. I see a lot of people having flown over 6 million miles. I see a lot of people that get so upset when a flight gets canceled or they're delayed or so on and so forth. And hey, it is what it is, nothing you can do about it. You might as well just, take your blood pressure medicine and just calm down or have a drink or whatever you do. But, last 4 points: sort, don't sell. We are not in the business of selling anything. All we're doing is flipping cards, if you will. We're looking for those people that are looking for us. We're looking for people that are looking for an opportunity. We're looking for people that raise their hand that say, hey, that looks pretty cool. I want some more information, right? So we're looking for those people. We're looking for people that show up to Zooms. We're looking for people that want to participate in events that we're having. We're looking for people just like ourselves, right? I mean, I wish I could clone myself and just have 8 or 10 of those that I could sponsor. But I do. I find them. I found a buddy of mine. I've been after him since 2012. 7 years, and I text him. I email him. He's on my list, and he finally said, "You know what?" He said, "This is pretty interesting." And, the timing just wasn't right for him all of those years. And now the timing is right. And so he came aboard. His samples should be there tomorrow, or actually on Tuesday. And, who would have guessed, and great guy. So another one of my buddies from Texas, same thing. He said, "I can't believe that I'm actually making this call and I'm interested." And I go, "Well, I can't believe it either." But it's hard to overlook, the obvious. The obvious is that, we've got a great message. We've got a great story, right? We got a great product that works almost instantly on almost everybody. And it is that the ultimate, immediate gratification product, the best one that I've ever seen. So that's why I, jumped on this train, because I knew that this thing was going to explode. It was just all the signs were there. So don't prejudge people. I can't even tell you how important that is, because you just never know who's going to say yes. You have to give everybody the opportunity to say no. And most people don't say, "No, I'm not interested," even though that's what they're saying. They're really saying, "No, I'm just not interested now," right? I'm not interested now. I could be interested later, but I'm not going to tell you that, But if you'll just stay in touch with me, I'll let you know when I'm interested. And, that's our job. My wife is always commented to me. She said, and I have been in a couple of bummer deals, right? And I thought were not going to be bummer deals. And she said, "How can you possibly call back the same people again?" I said, that's my job. You know, I mean, I have to give them the opportunity to say no. And if they say no, then I have to give them the opportunity to say no again and again and again and again and again and again until they finally, are more forceful. And even then, they don't come off the list, right? So, I mean, I might postpone, talking to them for a little bit, but they never disappear off my list. And if you guys are not building a list, if you're not building a database, contact manager in a contact manager and doing that, then you are missing the biggest assets that you have, and those are the people that you know and that they know. Most of the people that I've met, the best people I met through other people. But you know what I did? Even if that relationship that I had with that person kind of fizzled, let me use the case of Marshall Silver. That was the case there, right? I met Marshall through somebody else. Well, that relationship that I had with that person, I just as soon not have anymore, and I don't. But I knew Marshall was a winner, right? So I kept his information, and I started, dripping and making sure that we were connected. So you've got to do exactly the same thing. The other thing on here is that you just can't ever quit. Not for my sake, I'm going to be okay whether you quit or not. Is for your sake. You never, ever should quit. If VALENTUS goes out of business, then you can quit. But if VALENTUS is still in business, you don't quit. You stay active. You continue to share the products, even if they're on a very, very limited basis. You continue to stay active. You continue to bank volume because, again, your organization is going to grow. It's going to continue to grow month after month, and you're going to look and, you just might run into somebody one day that says, oh man, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Thank you for bringing it to me. And they light it up, right? I mean, it's like one of those people that all you have to do is plug them in and duck, and they light it up and run to triple diamond, run to, blue diamond. So, and there are those people all out there. They're out there, looking and searching, just like we're looking and searching. So don't ever, 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 ever quit. Last thing I'll say about this is we don't sell coffee. We sell opportunity. We have coffee as one of our products, and I never forget when I was brand new in the business, I thought it was all about selling those damn water filters we had. And so I got pretty good at it, right? And then the guys who were making the money said, I went to them and I said, you know what? There's something wrong with this whole equation because I'm working real hard. I'm not making any money, and you don't look like you're working at all, and you're making a lot of money. So there's obviously I'm doing something wrong. And I go, well, I noticed that they didn't say, well, how many water filters did you sell, right? In fact, they said, we don't sell water filters. We find other people to sell water filters. We build an organization, and we will find some people in there. Same thing with us. We will find some people in there that love to go and sell coffee. Great. God bless them, right? Our job is to find business builders and more business builders and more business builders. So, continue finding business builders. If somebody just, arbitrarily wants to be a customer, don't shoosh them away. Obviously send them your website, but you just can't spend any time with them, right? I mean, you just can't spend any time with them. Here's one thing, you guys have seen this chart probably 1,000 times. Unless you're brand new, then you probably haven't seen it. But this is your responsibility to explain the differences between the packages, because I wish we didn't have them, but we have to have them. We've got that, this package, and this package, right? And then the business builder package, and we got the career pack. But I really don't talk about the career pack that much. But, you know, it's your responsibility to make sure that the person you're enrolling understands that, you know, they're not going to participate in the global bonus pool. Their dual team match, which doesn't mean much. This doesn't mean much. This doesn't mean much. This means a lot, the dual team amount, right? Think for a second, you know, $5 or $10 as opposed to $20. You know, that's a huge amount. Now, it's not a huge amount when it's, you know, small number of cycles, but, you know, again, it's your responsibility to educate that person and help them make the right decision. Because if they come in for $239.95 and they've spent their, you know, $250, then they find out that, hey, I don't get any of that. What happened to that legacy money? You know, well, you don't get it. You know, that went to me. You know, I was qualified, you weren't. So, you know, you sponsored that person at a business builder, and it's not building your foundation team. It's not. It all came to me. They go, well, that's not really good. If I would have known it, I would have bought that other package, right? So, and some people think that they can pay. I've heard this. Well, can I pay the difference in, you know, the first 30 days? No, you can't. No, you can't. You have to buy the whole darn package, right? So, you know, don't spend $250 and come back in here and spend another $600. Now you got $850 involved, right? So explain it to people. Explain to people that, you know, if they buy the business builder package, you're going to get 2 complimentary tickets to the Turning Point seminar. That's huge. That's a big deal, right? I mean, they get to go and spend 3 days with Marshall at that event. So that is a big deal. So, guys, I know you've seen this before 100 times, but I just want to reemphasize it, that again, you know, taking a person through these various stages, right, of starting as a Ruby, how do you get to Emerald, you know, and you know, you're going to have to continue to educate your brand new person, you know, that you've just enrolled on how to get there. And, you know, it's a whole lot easier than people think that it is when they see this 15,000 in volume. You know, next Sunday I'll show you something that will make it a whole lot clearer. But you know, getting to double diamond, getting to triple diamond, getting to blue diamond, yes, it's a process, right? It's not going to happen overnight. You know, even as much experience as I have. Now, there's people with less experience than I have in other markets that are blowing up, that are getting to diamond, double diamond, triple diamond, blue diamond, and royal diamond even faster, right? I mean, you know, because, well, there's a lot of reasons for that because. But, you know, again, it's just, you just got to stay in the process of working it and show people the average monthly income, right? Nothing wrong with that. Hey, you know, you think this is a small deal? You think this is, you know, for people that, you know, aren't attracted to money? You're crazy. This is real money. You know, I'm getting closer. I just want to tell you, first time over 200,000 on my leg, you know, and it's the first time that my enroller's leg has been over 400,000. So again, pretty soon this will be 1 million over here, and this will be 500,000. I mean, it's going to happen in a blink of an eye. So it's just a matter of time. And this is, you know, take people to this website, businessforhome.org, and look at the top earners. You know, if you think this is a business for people that don't know anything about making money, look at the top earners in the industry. I mean, I just clicked on that today, found my name in there, which was kind of interesting. But, you know, John's number 19, probably 18, 17. He'll be number 16 here shortly. He'll move up in that rank. The top person that's in there is in there at 2.1 million a month. Yeah, there's a lot of money. You know, I talk to people all the time about, you know, if $500,000 a month isn't in your plan A, then maybe you should shift your plan A to plan B and work with me in Valentus and make this your plan A, right? Why not? Because it's being done here. If you don't think you can make $500,000 a month or 200,000 a month or whatever that number might be, right? Whatever that number might be. If you don't think you can make that doing what you're doing, then maybe you need to cut that loose, make that your plan B, come on over here and let's us go to work and make Valentus your plan A and start building. So plug into the Zoom systems. I can't even emphasize how important that is. You know, bring guests, you know, and you don't have to bring a guest to every one of them. You don't have to bring, you know, make sure that you've got somebody lined up for every. Now there's people that do that, you know, congratulations. You know, and if you can, you know, great. But if you can't, then be there, you know, because you know what happens? Your team looks for you. I mean, you know, if I'm always on all the Zooms, unless it's just absolutely positively impossible. Because why? Because other people are saying, well, you know, if he's not there, then why should I be there? If it's not important to him, then, or to her, then why should I be there? You know, so people are always looking for reasons not to do something, and that is a good reason. Well, it's not important enough for him to show up, so I guess I won't show up either. You know, and then that starts to duplicate, you know, through your organization, and that's the wrong type of duplication. You don't want that type of duplication. And we like seeing your smiling faces, you know. So that's it, guys. You know, that's my 30 odd minutes of time with you here on this Sunday, and I enjoy these really a lot. I mean, I really enjoy spending this quality time with everybody. So let me do this. Let me stop the share. Let me shut off the recording. Stop recording.